Ferrari is once again at the center of the Formula One world. A shocking leak from Maranello reveals that Lewis Hamilton has been secretly testing a component that could alter the outcome of the 2025 season, with the Belgian Grand Prix as the main stage. The big question is whether the major upgrades to the SF25 will be enough to challenge McLaren's dominance. Let's find out. From the beginning of the season, Ferrari has shown signs of performance imbalance. While the car looked fast in qualifying sessions, it struggled with consistency and stability, especially during race pace. The main source of the problem, the rear suspension. The SF25 was designed with a radical approach. The cockpit was shifted rearward for more aggressive weight distribution. This resulted in the engine and fuel tank being positioned backward as well. However, this design had significant consequences. Space for the gearbox was reduced, and the pull rod rear suspension proved to be a fatal compromise. Ultimately, Ferrari was forced to use rear dampers that could not fully control the car's vertical movement, especially at the end of straights, at high speeds, or when entering heavy braking zones. This suspension issue isn't simply a matter of driver comfort. It has a far more complex impact, touching on crucial aspects of modern aerodynamics, particularly ground effect, which is highly sensitive to fluctuations in the car's height above the track surface. Suspension that fails to adequately dampen oscillations can disrupt the airflow passing under the car. An initially smooth flow can become disrupted and interrupted, and then reintegrate into turbulent chaos. Phenomenon that every team fears occurs when the suspension's oscillation frequency collides with this airflow frequency pattern, porpoising, a repetitive, high-intensity, vertical up and down motion. Porpoising makes the car difficult to control and accelerates tire wear. It also compromises grip and can damage the car's undercarriage and structure. This is why Ferrari repeatedly forces Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton into what they call Leco mode, a more conservative car setup that technically mitigates porpoising and reduces vertical stress on the undercarriage. However, the consequences are clear. They lose aerodynamic efficiency and speed, sometimes by as much as 0.3 seconds per lap. It's a high price to pay to keep the car intact until the finish line. Faced with immense pressure and unmet performance demands, Ferrari's engineers in Maranello acted quickly. They devised a bold technical solution, modifying the rear suspension structure to increase the anti-lift effect on the upper wishbone. The goal was to keep the rear of the car low during hard braking for optimal stability when entering corners, and to maximize ground effect, which is crucial in the current regulatory era. This major move was not officially announced. Instead, Ferrari chose to proceed quietly. At the Mugello circuit, they held a private 200-kilometer test disguised as a filming day. They're there to lead drivers, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, tested the new suspension prototype themselves in addition to the drivers. Two key figures were also present behind the scenes: team principal Fred Vasseur and chief architect of Ferrari's car performance development, Loic Serra. They monitored every data point, graph, and piece of telemetry in real time to evaluate the effectiveness of the upgrade. What were the initial results? A split. Lewis Hamilton responded positively. In fact, he is said to have provided very detailed technical input discussing aspects of the car's feel under braking and mid-corner stability. Charles Leclerc, on the other hand, is not entirely convinced. He believes his improvements are reasonable, and he is reportedly less enthusiastic than the team management expected. According to a source from Motorsport Italia, this isn't a revolution. Like Mercedes did a few seasons ago, this comment suggests that Ferrari still has a long way to go, but perhaps this is the most important first step. Before Spa, Ferrari had already experienced a glimmer of optimism at Silverstone. Upgrades to the car's floor, which had been overly sensitive to ride height, made it more forgiving. As a result, Ferrari performed well in qualifying and kept pace with McLaren in several stints. F1 analyst Matteo Bobbi said, with the new floor and extended suspension range, the SF25 could be a different beast at Spa. However, he also emphasized that this wasn't a revolutionary leap, but rather an important evolution that could lead to more stable aerodynamics. Other technical issues plaguing Ferrari, such as fuel distribution problems when the tank was nearly empty, also came under scrutiny. These issues surfaced at Silverstone, showing that the car still has many unknowns. The Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps will be more than just another race. It's a crucial test of Ferrari's direction for the rest of the season. Amid public pressure and internal expectations, the introduction of the new suspension will be a major focus. If these components perform as expected, Ferrari will have a good chance of competing at the front again. Spa, with its fast and demanding nature, especially in iconic sections like Eau Rouge, Raidillon, and Blanchimonti's, unforgiving for an unbalanced car. However, if these improvements fail to produce tangible results, then Spa could mark the beginning of a major shift in focus to the 2026 project, with new technical regulations set to drastically alter next season's car designs. All teams are laying the groundwork now. Ferrari cannot afford to divide their focus for too long, and Spa will be a key driver of their priorities. Lewis Hamilton remains the center of attention heading into the 2025 season. At 40 years old, he shows no signs of slowing down. His desire to win burns strong, and he knows time is running out. This season could be his last chance to fight for an 8th world title before the 2026 regulations shake up Formula One. Hamilton's position is unique. He is a living legend and a 7-time world champion coming to Ferrari with sky-high expectations. However, wins have eluded him so far. Conversely, Charles Leclerc faces a different challenge. He must demonstrate not only his speed, but also his maturity as a leader. This year is a pivotal moment in his career. If he wants to become a world champion, he must step up not just as a fast qualifier, but as the foundation of Ferrari's long-term project. He must show that he can contribute to the team's development, even under internal pressure and in the shadow of Hamilton. McLaren is currently too strong. Their incredible consistency, impressive pace, and near-flawless strategy have made the Woking team the clear frontrunners for this season's title. They're fast and efficient at executing every detail of the race. Meanwhile, Ferrari still has a mathematical chance to catch up, but realistically, the challenge is formidable. The prancing horse needs more than improved performance. They need a combination of luck, such as 2 McLaren cars crashing or losing crucial points in the next few races. However, one thing remains unchanged. Ferrari hasn't waved the white flag. They're still fighting with the hopes of the entire tifosi on their shoulders. Ferrari hopes that this suspension upgrade will cut lap times by up to 0.3 seconds, which is enough to regain podium contention and maintain its chances of securing spots in both the Constructors' and Drivers' Championships, but all will be revealed at Spa. This legendary, uncompromising circuit will reveal one crucial truth. Is this the beginning of Ferrari's revival with Hamilton? Or is it the beginning of giving up in 2025 to prepare for a revolution in 2026? Let us know your thoughts below.